every day we are working to be even more prepared. I never want to say that we are just prepared, but we are certainly have been in conversations and meetings and making preparation for the last couple of months. Okay, and we are in communication with high level of people at the Texas Medical Center. Bill McKeon, who's over the medical center, has been directly a part of those meetings. Dr. Purse on the city side has been the point person. Chief Pena with the fire department has been a part of those meetings. I've been a part of those meetings. So we've worked out protocols with the hospitals, the clinics. We're having conversations, for example, with our nursing homes and senior living facilities, because it's that group that seems like it's more adversely impacted. We've been having conversations, for example, with big events like the rodeo. That's why you see at the rodeo there are more sanitation dispensers, what you call them, sanitizer dispensers, out there. So we certainly have, the health department has been in constant communication with the CDC, looking at possibly reaching the point where we can do our own testing instead of having to defer it to the CDC. With my instruction to everybody, let's prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So that's my instruction. We are taking necessary precautions, for example, to minimize our risk. That's why, we cancel out on Sarah Week. We've been hosting that event for 40 consecutive years. But we're trying to minimize the risk. We want people to know, we're not taking it lightly, and we're not placing money over the safety. So we have been taking those type of proactive steps. There are no confirmed cases in our area in Houston Harris County, but if that should change, we'll let people know, and then we'll take the necessary steps to isolate individuals. So we're prepared to do that. So those constant conversations are constantly taking place. And at the same time, we're encouraging people, like if you don't have to travel, internationally, minimize that. Certainly know where you're going and what the status in those respective countries are. Spring break, month of March, we're encouraging people not to go outside of the United States, for example. Hotels in the city of Houston are going to be given special discount rates, so do a staycation. And then we're telling people, let's not be paralyzed by fear. And so we have to continue to move forward. And that's why we're encouraging people to go to the rodeo, just take the precautions. If you're sick, don't go to the rodeo. Don't come to work. Don't do that. And if you think you may be exposed, call your doctor ahead of just going, so they can take the proper precautions. So do that. Don't just show up. So those are the things that we have put out. We're doing. So the messaging is important. The communication is important. So we have taken steps to prepare ourselves even more. And then as things should change, we'll adapt the measures that need to be taken in order to maintain the safety and the security of the people in Houston, in the region. Right? Look. When you're talking about a conference where you're bringing representatives, thousands of representatives from 80 different countries, from outside of the United States, inside the United States, and specifically to Houston, Harris County, we don't know what protocols they have in their respective countries. Okay, we don't know what their exposure has been, and we just thought at this particular point in time, where there's uncertainty and a great deal of anxiety, that on balance it was prudent to say for this year, no. Okay. Now it's different, for example, if this was a conference domestic and everybody was coming from the United States, that's one thing. But when we're talking about bringing thousands of people from outside of the United States, from 80 different countries, we had to factor that in, and we had to make a prudent decision. And so for the marketing corporation that puts on this conference, and for the city of Houston, we had those conversations, over the weekend, and I agreed that it was a prudent decision not to proceed this year, but they immediately booked for next year. Okay, so we're going to take the what I call prudent, rational decisions, make those type of decisions. that's in the best interest of the people in Houston, Harris County. I will say to you, to come back this notion of fear, you know, for like tomorrow, I'm taking my entire executive team, executive staff, department head, and we're having lunch in Asia time, for example, okay? So we are going, we're gonna have lunch. I encourage other people to do the same. So, you know, we don't want fear to become a paralysis for us, and we still want to move ahead. Okay.
Mayor, if I could just.
The impasse lawsuit to strike down key parts of the collective bargaining statute.
And let me just say this, they are the one who filed the lawsuit, not the city of Houston. And then within the lawsuit, I indicated that I'm fully supportive of collective bargaining. So we are prepared to engage with all of our employee groups based on the normal course of business. You know, the police union has already sent a letter saying that they want to sit down and have their negotiations to when their contract expire, and we're doing that. Municipal workers, when it comes time, we're going to sit down and we're going to do that. The same thing applies to the firefighters, to 340, to the union. When they want to sit down and go through the collective bargaining process, we are more than willing and prepared to do that. But let's not just keep throwing stuff out. All that does is, if they want to delay, and you know, I leave that up to them. I can't make decisions for them. That's up to them and the members that they.
The letter that they provided to me said.
I'm not going to get into no tit tat now, and neither should you. That's not. If you want to, if it's back to business as usual, the normal course of business. So that's the best I can tell you. Okay, and so let me speak more to their members. Okay, we are prepared. They have always asked for. We're prepared to do that. But I'm not going to get caught up in this he said, she said, but, you know, I'm not going to do that. Business as usual. We're prepared to move forward, and we'll treat them like we treat every other employee group. That's all I can tell you on that. It's up to them.
6 hours to go to vote. Should that be the wait in order for us